Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. It is your fearless leader, Wally George, combing his hair, combing his locks into place. And we are here once again every night, Monday through Friday at 11:30. Forget Dave, forget Jay. It's Wally. You watch me, you're going to be entertained, you're going to be informed, and you'll be a better American. What do you get on Leno and Letterman? Same old stuff. Top 10 list, big deal. Hey, Jeff, that's what we should do. We should do our own top 10 list. We could outdo Letterman. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to work on that, do Wally's top 10 list. That would be good. What do you think, Jerry?
It's a great idea.
The Wally top 10. Boy, I'll outdo Letterman if it kills me. Oh, by the way, we get lots of calls and letters. When are you going to have Holly back on the show? Well, you know, she's in school now, so it makes it a little difficult to get her down here when we're taping the show. But she is doing a little modeling work now. She's 13 years old, and this is one of her modeling pictures, and I think she's just looking greater and greater all the time. There is my lovely daughter, Holly George, 13 years old. Isn't she a doll? She is something else. I'm very proud of her. Holly George, Holly and Wally. Well, you know, the Democrats are all hailing their new House leader, the minority leader, Nancy Pelosi. The first time a woman has been the leader in the House. And this is an article in the Register from Doug Gamble, who is a former writer for President Reagan. And he says Republicans gleeful over the election of San Francisco Democrat Nancy Pelosi as her party's House leader had no reason to abandon their joy after her appearance on Sunday's Meet the Press, making her first appearance on a Sunday talk show since her elevation to her new post. The admitted shrewd and charming Pelosi tried her best to portray herself as a moderate, but trying to convince voters that Nancy Pelosi is a moderate is a little like Saddam Hussein trying to convince people he wants to pick up where Mother Teresa left off. The politician whose 8th congressional district comprises 4/5 of San Francisco has an almost perfect liberal voting record. She supports, get this, she supports partial birth abortion. Partial birth abortion. She supports gay marriage. Great for the Democrats. She supports more gun control laws. Welfare for immigrants. She wants illegal aliens to be able to get welfare? Come on. She supports needle exchanges. And dropping the embargo against Cuba. She opposes the death penalty when about 85% of the people here in California are in favor of it. She is against war with Iraq, and she opposed the Persian Gulf War back in 1991. And this is this liberal lunatic that the Democrats have picked as their House leader. Can you believe that? I cannot. She is probably the most liberal I've ever heard in that position, especially. Wow. Nancy Pelosi. Boy, are they going to use her name a lot in the 2004 elections when they say, well, you know, the head of the Democrats in the House opposes the death penalty, is in favor of gay marriage, partial birth abortion, more gun control laws, welfare for immigrants. Boy, oh boy. I predict is going to be poison for the Democrats. Hold on. Now, here's an interesting article. You know who will? Do you know who Blix is? Blix. Hans Blix, the 74-year-old Swedish diplomat who heads the United Nations team of weapons inspectors in Iraq. It says here in this article by Amir Taheri, he is the central act in a three-ring circus that will decide whether there will be another war with Iraq soon. And then it says, below the headline, it's uncertain whether the UN inspection chief, Hans Blix, is a match for the wily Saddam Hussein. Very interesting observation. Is Blitz and his team, are they able to match wits with the very clever like a fox Saddam Hussein? Saddam! You know, he's had literally years to hide his weapons of mass destruction in places that are going to be probably impossible to find. And you know he's going to have certain places that are going to be off limits, although he says that he won't. And I say that this whole inspection thing is going to be a complete joke because, believe me, Saddam Hussein would never let this team in unless he was pretty darn sure that they will never find his weapons of mass destruction that he has carefully hidden in places that will never be found. He's too smart for Hans Blix. They should have sent over Arnold Schwarzenegger. He should have been the head of that team. He would have found those weapons of mass destruction. Arnold. He's the Terminator. He might terminate Saddam while he's at it. We've got to take a little break now, and we'll be coming right back with some highlights from the past 20 years of my Hot Seat show. So stay where you are. I'll be right back. Thank you. Neutrality. What I'm saying is, Scott, wait a minute. Let me finish my answer to your stupidity, all right? Now listen. Once the Russians, once the Russians take over all the rest of the world, Scott, we're going to be the only ones left. Don't you think they're going to come after us, too?
Wally, that's ludicrousy. That is not going to happen at all. It won't happen.
Oh, it won't happen.
Listen.
Famous last words. I remember when they said that about Adolf Hitler. Hey, hold on, Scott. Neville Chamberlain came back to London right before World War II, and he said, hey, we can trust Adolf Hitler. He's not going to want to take over the world. He's not going to bomb us. It'll never happen. Here's another Neville Chamberlain right here, right?
If we start taking care When we start taking care of this country and this country only and make our country strong defensively, because contrary to popular belief, I'm not against a strong defense, but strong defensively and economically, we will be setting a good example for the rest of the world. An example that the world will want to follow naturally.
Sure we will,
without
Scott.
us meddling in people's business.
Sure we will, Scott. We'll be setting a wonderful example. We'll be a bunch of wimps, won't we? For you to say...
We will not be wimps. We will just simply be peace-loving people, Wally.
Yeah, peace. Sure. We'll be peace-loving people waiting for the bomb to come over from the Soviet Union, right?
The only chance of them bombing us, Wally, is simply because we antagonize them constantly. If we got out of their affairs, there'd be no need to bomb us.
You're saying...
We antagonize the Russians all the time, every day.
Oh, we shouldn't antagonize the Russians. Oh.
Listen.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I know what we should do. Let's throw a party for Gorbachev, huh? I'll be right back. You people here in Orange County, if you're thinking about renting a car, before you go to one of those fancy, expensive places, try U-Save Auto Rental. U-Save Auto Rental in Huntington Beach. You will save big bucks, and you'll get beautiful cars to rent. Mention Wally George for the Wally George special bonus price. That's U-Save Auto Rental. Tell Dave I sent you.
What do you do when your cash is low and you need groceries?
You got a cash emergency, you got a money mayday.
Check into cash.
What's Check into Cash? It's a remarkable place to get instant emergency cash for a flat fee.
Check into cash.
We cash your personal check and then we hold it till you're paid.
Anytime you have an unexpected expense and need a payday advance, Check into Cash can make it happen.
What do I do? My car's fixed and I don't have enough cash to pay the mechanic.
People from all walks of life have discovered that Check into Cash offers a simple solution to one of life's most difficult situations.
It's the smart place to get instant emergency cash for a flat fee. Check into cash. Check into cash.
My checking account's low. I can't get what we need.
Go to Check into Cash. Check into Cash. The next time you need quick cash for whatever reason, go to Check into Cash. It's quick, easy, and confidential.
You got a money mayday.
Hi, I'm Alex Payne. Join us on patrol with state police. From the highways to the crime scenes, we'll meet the men and women who catch the bad guys and solve the tough cases. You'll see the action-filled captures and the top-notch forensics work. That's every week on State Police. Saturday nights at 7 on KDOC TV.
Welcome back. Wally George here with the Hot Seat Show, and my guest is libertarian Scott Lockwood. I really can't believe some of the things I'm hearing, David. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, Scott, whose affairs are we unnecessarily meddling in right now, for instance? South Africa?
Of course. South Africa, the Middle East.
We should stay out of South Africa.
The Eastern Bloc, everywhere. We meddle all over the world.
Hey, you would like us to
and have been doing so for over 50 years.
You would like us to be completely...
And I want to make this point. For 150 years, we were a neutral country, and we got along just fine.
Wait a minute. Oh, we cannot be neutral. We must stand by our allies who are fighting a communist takeover of the world. Obviously.
But, Wally, our allies have the bombs, and they have the military, and they have the resources to defend themselves against an attack.
They do not. We are a beacon of strength. We are the only hope for the free world. You want us to stick our heads in the sand and become isolationists. I say...
Oh, no. We shouldn't be an isolated country. We should be a neutral country, and there's a big difference between the two.
You can't be a neutral country. How can you be neutral against those vile animals in the Soviet Union, right? You can't be neutral.
It takes two to play the game with the Soviet Union, and if we drop out of the game, the game's over for them. There's nobody else for them to play with.
If we drop out of the game, the game is over for us because they'll take us over. Isn't that right?
But if
Hold on,
we
stop.
truly... Now, wait a minute.
No,
Now,
wait a minute. You neglect to realize, I can't believe that you can be so naive and so dense not to realize...
You're...
that,
wait, naive, dense, you're the one that doesn't like my tie.
because it's red. Yes, it's red tie. Hey, notice he chose a red tie, right? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let me ask you.
It isn't my fault you have bad taste.
You are so naive and dense that you don't realize that the main goal of the Soviet Union is to take over the United States of America. And if we become a neutral country like you want us to, and take all of our troops home from all over the world and let them gobble up country after country after country, we'll be the only ones left. And are you so naive to think that they will not try to take us too?
I don't think they're going to take us. Of course not. Of course not. And
why would
wait a
they
minute.
leave us alone?
Because our country will be strong on its own. And furthermore, listen, if we really believe in freedom and liberty and justice for all, I think that we ought to let other countries have the same freedom, the same liberty, and the same justice to be able to determine for themselves what type of system and country that they'd like to live in.
Is that automobile of yours acting up? Well, push it on in to Chuck and Sam's Auto Repair here in Orange County. And the owner there is Walter. That's my real name, you know, Walter. And they do fantastic work. Mention Wally George, you get a special bonus discount. And you get a free autographed copy of my autobiography if you mention my name at Chuck and Sam's Auto Repair. They're great.
Don't get caught missing America's dumbest criminal. If you're not quick on your feet, you could be dead on your feet.
Watch America's Dumbest Criminals, weekdays at 7:30. On the Southland's true independent, KDOC TV.
There are people with a calling. Most serve 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year. Earning money for college. Protecting their community. In the Army National Guard, you and unheard.